Hi there. This is a quick update just to explain to everyone how we've been in standby mode for the past 3 weeks, waiting for George R. R. Martin's blog post reaction to House of the Dragon Season 2. And when that comes, there'll be a big new burst of activity. Now, I'm keeping this short because yesterday Red Team Review already did a better video on this and more succinctly, 6 minutes long, going over, is Martin fighting with the writers or not? No, he politely disagrees with a few things. It's nothing like what the trolls and everyone are hyping it up to be, but what have we been doing all this time? Well, just going over a calendar or something. The finale was August 4th, which was 3 weeks before Sunday. I'm recording this Tuesday, so 3 weeks ago, August 4th was the finale. And I knew Martin wouldn't react to this within a week or so, because the week right after that, of Sunday, August 11th, that was Worldcon. That Martin was going to Worldcon in Glasgow, Scotland, so we weren't expecting him to post anything then, because he never makes big blog updates when he's on a big international trip. And he's told us about this for some time. It was this month-long trip where he's meeting with agents, that he was visiting the set for Duncan Egg that he hasn't visited before, so he was doing a bunch of different things, business-related as well as other things, so we knew that. The other thing is, you might have remembered from the big reaction initial podcast I did about Warner Discovery really screwed us over having 2 more episodes and the writer's strike and everything. I was freaking out for a good 2 days after the finale, realizing this wasn't a creative choice, and that they're going to truncate the later seasons. Season 2, I think, managed to do reasonably well under the circumstances of a strike and cutting episodes. It's the knock-on effect that you can't reduce Season 3 if you're putting more episodes from Season 2 in it. So I was freaking out. But like I said, over on the Westeros.org forums, Elio Garcia, who was one of the co-authors of the World Book, he really talked me down, said, there's issues, but it's the studio's fault, we still have faith in the writers, all of that, and that we're cautiously optimistic there's a chance they might be able to argue back for 10 seasons after this backlash, that Condell himself hasn't given up on it anyway. All of that. But in their reaction to the end of Season 2, which was surprisingly even-handed, or not blaming the writers, they're blaming the studio, this is clearly they didn't intend to end it this way. In Westeros.org's last video, they said Elio is going to Worldcon to meet with Martin there, and we'll make something when we get back, going over Season 2 as a whole. So, basically, I was waiting on Westeros.org's Season 2 overview, and they were waiting on Martin's overview, and everyone was waiting on Martin's overview. So you wouldn't have expected it 1 week later on August 11th, because that was Worldcon. I was quietly freaking out when nothing happened by August 18th. Which was weekend before last. But it turns out that Martin was going to a different con just 2 days ago, on Sunday the 25th. That he went to Bubanacan, which is the local regional Comic-Con in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where he lives, that's been going for 50 years. And he often makes appearances there, so turns out he was making another thing. I didn't know about that at the time of Worldcon. They said, oh no, he's going to Bubanacan as well. And he had another panel there where he talked about stuff. He didn't have a panel at Worldcon, but he made comments. So, it turns out Martin hadn't made a blog post yet, because I thought he was going to Worldcon, then coming home immediately. I think he came back from Europe 2 weekends ago, then was busy going to Bubanacan this past weekend. But now that's over and done with, and he's home again. He's not going to another convention. And he's reiterated both at Worldcon and then very prominently at this Reddit report about the Bubanacan panel went viral, that he said, I'm going to make a long blog post going over Season 2 and my thoughts on it. So, okay, I was freaking out. Are we not going to get anything? Is everyone just giving up on energy? It's no. Westeros.org really wants to make a book reader's review of all this. They just were waiting on Martin. Martin was still on his trip. I didn't know that, so I haven't been inactive. I've been researching and writing videos to make. It's just part of me was, I was waiting for Martin to do something, to say his thoughts. That if nothing else, the point I'm trying to get across is, when Martin makes a blog post about this, it is going to get attention from mainstream news sites. It's not just going to be us and the fan sites, oh, Westeros.org made a reaction. It's like mainstream news will be reporting on Martin's thoughts on Season 2, which will spur our online activity here, no matter what he says. Now, Red Team Review's video talks more about this. I'll link it at the end. You must watch it. It does this better than I can, but just saying, this is why we've been in standby mode from one weekend to the next of wait, oh, okay, he went to that other con first. And that. The other thing is, in the forum, Elio said, Elio had originally said, I'm going to make another season scale video for Westeros.org right after I get back from Worldcon, and then he didn't. He revealed in the forum, well, it's because when I was at Worldcon, Martin said, I'm really planning on a big blog post about this. And Elio said, I should probably wait for Martin to make his blog post before I make my season comments, which makes complete sense. So that explains the mystery. That's why we didn't get this planned, announced thing from Westeros.org. They were waiting for Martin. Elio said, I don't want to speak for Martin, whatever he has to say. He just said he made similar remarks to what you're hearing about what he said at Bubonicon at Worldcon. They weren't that different. And it's general stuff I'd sympathize with, that he's worried, I'm 75, will I live to finish this? Because there's so much to do. But he reiterated, I'm not tired of it, I love writing this. This is nothing controversial, nothing new. As for specific reactions to Season 2, people are reading into this that we can't definitively know. Oh, is he fighting with the writers, or is he talking about how upset he is at how A Song of Ice and Fire got butchered? You're going to yell about this in the comments however much you want, that let's just focus on when Martin says it in his own words, because it'll be soon enough, rather than speculating. Because it's hard to say, because his comments are generic. When you actually see what he said was, oh, Season 1 was great, and Season 2 was, well, I'm going to talk about that in a blog post. That could mean anything. That could mean he, like us, he's angry at the studios for cutting 2 episodes off, That doesn't mean he's fighting with Condal or anything. It could. I'm just saying that he didn't really say anything definitive when he was at these conventions. He just said, I'm going to have more to say. This was wonderful news. When we figured it out 2 days ago, Sunday evening, he was talking about it and said, the reason I haven't, just mouthed off once at Worldcon is I am planning a very detailed blog post. So now we are in standby mode, waiting for that. I'm working on a report about the problems behind the scenes internally at Warner Discovery that led to this. What they could do, would that they threw out Zaslav, that you lost the NBA, you idiot. Stuff like that, but and just the overview of what they've been doing, because we've been living a lie for a year and a half, that he said, oh no, everything is fine. And no, you simply cut off the last 2 episodes of the season as they started filming. So now we need to reassess the state of the entire franchise. So I'm working on all of that. Everyone get ready, not just from my channel, but from the burst of fandom activity that will be crystallized when Martin makes this big and possibly controversial blog post. So, of course, please like and subscribe, and check back frequently for when that happens on a matter of a couple of days.